Good morning and welcome to the Point. It is Thursday, October 29th, 2020. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20, and good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9. This morning it's an open line program here on To The Point because tomorrow, Friday, which is usually the open line day, there's the sitting of Parliament, which begins at 9, and we will be broadcasting the proceedings on Classic. Therefore, we've moved the open line program to right now. This is the opportunity for you, viewers and listeners, to phone in with thoughts, questions, queries, concerns, anything you think we need to be made aware of. This is the platform to share. The landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. No voice or video calls, no voice notes, no YouTube links, no pictures or other videos. Only written messages on WhatsApp, please. You can also participate in the program and share your thoughts, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go to our first caller on this open line Thursday. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
I'd like to just speak a little bit more about that topic we were discussing earlier in the morning.
Sure.
Segment. Because I think too many times as Grenadians, we do not try to understand issues. We take sides, and we lose all our objectivity. Now, from what I've gathered, this is a government loan, which means it has to pay back by taxpayers. And I think it's a gross disrespect for our leaders to come to us and inform us of this thing, which I understand was signed probably about 2 years ago. You didn't just sign, it was signed about 2 years ago. And to come and unleash that or roll that out before us. They have not told us, they haven't given us a breakdown of the different components of the project, which I find is very disrespectful. They have not told us about the ability of the entity, being MBIA, to repay the loan. And to me, this is a basic thing. If you go to any financial institution, you have to present your financial statements. I think the minister ought to have come prepared with financial statements for the last 5 years to show us, in summary, the capability of the Maurice Bishop International Airport to repay that loan. We know that things have changed drastically in the last 10 months. And what happened in the last 5 years, will be, chalk compared to what we're going to achieve. Will be cheese compared to the chalk we'll be dealing with in the next 5 years. But at least if you say to us, when this thing was conceptualized, this was the capability of the airport, which I know it still has a lot of debt. It's owing a lot of money. The minister said for the last couple of years they were paying themselves, I guess, to handle the current finances currently, but they have debt and unpaid loans from before. At least be decent enough to tell us, well, these are the financial records of the MBIA, and this is how the MBIA will pay for those things. We have not shown any such thing. We are just being told this is the amount of money. We're not told what the repayment is. All we're told is very concessionary terms. And there would be a grace period. That is not information. That's not enough for the people who have to pay those loans back. Now, people are talking about the Chinese and the debt trap. I don't blame the Chinese for one moment. If you take a loan to buy a house, a car, you go to courts for furniture, there must be a way that the lender will recover the assets if you fail to pay.
Okay.
And if the Chinese, they must have a way of recovering their assets. If we are dumb enough to go and take loans that we cannot repay, then we are the ones at fault, and not those who are seizing those assets in lieu of what they have invested to us in the form of a loan.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you very much. You enjoy your day as well. Let me see if there are other comments. Well, I guess we can probably continue what we started this morning. I'll scroll through the social media while I take this caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
My issue is this. Now, 36 years ago, I built a house for you. 36 years after, you can show that you have $1 to spend on the house to repair the house. Yet one seek a bank loan. I don't find that making sense at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I was spending the dollar on other things. And the major work that I need to be carried out on the house now, I need assistance. That's my response. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, good morning. This is why when you see I say certain things, people just jump up and hate me and say, oh, I hate Keith Mitchell and all this kind of nonsense instead of dealing with the issues. You always hear me say that these people are accountable to us, Blossom. We are paying their salary and they are public servants being paid to serve us. And we have a right to know all this information as outlined by your first caller. And anytime you say that they're getting vexed, they have to answer the tough questions. I also made a point yesterday, and Clarice Modestin answered it really. When you see these Chinese coming to people place, they're bringing all their food stuff, their equipment, just about all the materials. How will the real benefit of the economy? Are we benefiting from these projects? Then also you have to take into consideration they employ very few people. Because from time to time you'll hear a certain caller on this radio saying that they've seen a set of Chinese people packing up and behind a bus. How much people are we really benefiting from the Chinese people? I don't know that. Do they intermingle? Do they spend money? Because as far as I know, they bring in every single living thing. As a matter of fact, I understand that they said that they even grow their own food, which I don't have a problem if they want to go to food finder. But what I'm saying, in terms of contribution to the economy, and let me end by saying again, everybody running behind China, especially Grenada. They think that all you think them Chinese love, all you put it in all your pipe and smoke it. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. They are looking for votes in the United Nations and all these different organizations because, they have a problem with Taiwan and they have a problem with America and all these different things. And you have Security Council and you have a seat on here and all these international institutions. So they are looking for support. And in support there, they do these things. So it's not to say they love all you or they're doing things for all you doing them a favor. We are not doing them a favor. You remember at Winding Down, remember the issue with the whaling with Japan and these places? It's the same thing. You scratch my back. I thought they don't love all your Grenada. Put it in all your pipe and smoke it that they want our votes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. Somebody on YouTube. Yes, they bring all their food, plus they're eating all our animals. I'll put it that way. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my wonderful lady.
Morning.
And how are you today?
I'm good.
Well, the Chinese backer is very broad and strong, they will take licks. Them is the only country in the world trying to get rid of poverty in other countries right now, the Chinese. And help every country to go forward. For all the donkey years there was there. Africa been there all the years which England and America and France rip off and build the empire. And only China got to help no more from this poverty right now. Go down in infrastructure and invest money in Africa right now for them. China help the world right now. They have the means now to do that. They didn't have the butcher slavery just as we. In that time from England and America and them slave them in the country. And they work hard and they educate and they talent and they have talent, And they're good. Jacket. Chinese come out to help the world. They don't come in to crucify people. They had the means to help the world in Pakistan. In Pakistan right now, I listened to a program one time about 2 weeks ago in Pakistan, which Pakistan have problem with water. And they cannot continue living inside Pakistan with water, especially women, tell you. It's a shame for Pakistan, who spend all the money on weapons. And the people in the country is in trouble. Poverty in Pakistan is the worst in India. And they have $1 million, $1 billion they have made, millionaires all over the world. Chinese building dam in Pakistan right now for what people get water in a matter of time, just some other time. They're helping people all over the world. China have big investment in Germany. They buy a whole dock in Germany to float Germany, to keep Germany floating. The biggest investment from Germany is Chinese. In Australia biggest investment is China. The whole world inside China right now, sweetheart. The whole world getting benefit from China. They help you. China have the longest bridge ever built in the world and the highest bridge ever built in the world is China building it. To go from country to country, train line and vehicle. Come on, human being. Other countries who've been there all the years, they were suffering all the years, suffering. They what they fill us with? Hand to mouth. Hand to mouth, they give you hand to mouth. China give you money to invest, to lift yourself and go forward. We might not see benefit today for the airport-wise or where they're spending the money today. But later in time to come as we develop and things. Now, if we as a people had developed this country with money what we have in the bank and who's playing scheme and who's playing smart man, they have money and they know what the country go forward. And they do like an MP and they like any city to invest more in the country. We can go forward, but if people invest more in the country, I would be better off today. A lot better off. You know, I want more Chinese coming here and invest again and people. When Chinese come to work, they come to work. They come to skin and scratch and then they come to work. Chinese don't scratch. They put talent in and they great. Get jacket. Fighting China all over the world. Chinese great people. They come to help the world from poverty. You know, China have a lot of poverty in any case, but they reduce a lot of poverty in China. A mighty America have more poverty than China. More homeless people.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me make a pass on the social media before I get back to the phone line. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I would like to know if the wearing of masks is not for people of Guelph because I passed through there on Thursday last and 95% of people on the street are not wearing masks. Where is the Guelph police? The Republic of Guelph. I guess they have their own rules, but they should be wearing the masks. Even if you're the only one, keep doing what you know you should be doing. That's what I always say. Don't follow the crowd and keep doing what you need to be doing. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, with reference to the airport loan, this should be public knowledge. We the people have to repay the loans when the government can't find the funds to repay taxes increase. We also have to take into consideration that China is a rising superpower. No, we can't operate without the Chinese. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
I want to say about the Chinese that this is not true because I know my neighbor have a farm and them Chinese have purchased everything from the farm from my nephew.
Thank you so much for that.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, the last caller talking about China all over the world is missing the point. That's the caller before the lady. I believe it's the gentleman. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, do you think the Chinese help is for free? You better think again. Well, it is a loan. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
Yes, I have to agree with the second caller, regarding China. I don't know what the xenophobia is all about. I have been dealing with the Chinese since in the early 1960s. And, I have, information about the Chinese and the way they operate, actually. They talk about what is done in Africa and so forth. What the Chinese do is they'll help you to set up a project. And if you cannot run it, then they'll come in and try to run it for you because you have to pay back that loan, right? It's an example we should follow, actually, where development is concerned. Don't expect people to just come in and, give you help, give you a loan or something like that, and you squander the money, officials, bank accounts swelling and all those type of things like that. You have to be responsible, and that's the thing with them. They talk about Chinese want to take over Grenada. And there is no one who can show me something where the Chinese have come in here and tried to. Now look, deliver a project actually. I know for a fact because my family are involved in that. For years, we have had people coming, Americans, British, and others coming, and actually screw the Grenada government, took money and gone. Now, the landowners are being paid for the land. And it is said that the Chinese are involved there. Well, if the Chinese are the ones providing the money to pay for it, all well and good. And we should be glad about that, because other people we have dealt with, China, Americans, British, and others, they have screwed the Grenada government and the Grenadian people and gone. So what's the problem there? We seem to be mistrusting and always, against people who will come and really try to help us. And the crooks that's in our midst or coming to be in our midst, we welcome them. China is not trying to take over Grenada. There's nothing here for them to take over. Okay, they need friendship throughout the world. And we must admire the Chinese for the advancements they made since the revolution in 1948 and so forth. They have made tremendous strides. And I'm not going to be one of Donald Trump's followers to condemn the Chinese at all. What they do socially, that's their problem. But as far as internationally, they have been trying to help the third world and the developed world. And we should appreciate that. And if the government here is trying to deal with them, all well and good. The only thing I have regarding that is they must be more open and let the people know what's going on.
Okay.
But the hate against the Chinese, yes, done away with this concept.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thanks, you too. Somebody on WhatsApp says there is a carrot and stick mentality in these world powers who have money. Just like you put a piece of bait in a plastic line to fool a fish so you can catch it. China is now using the same method that was used by the British, Americans, French, Spanish, etc. Grenadians, it is better to be poor and free than rich and be other nations' slaves. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Citizen Welsh greeting.
Morning, Citizen Rollo.
I have learned during my couple of years and so on that to make statements as it relates to quote-unquote geopolitics, you have to have, note my verb, have to have obligatorily certain information. Socrates in his wisdom once said, best wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. Thank God I've learned. And I've reached to the position I know, one of the only things that I know in this here country, I know that I know nothing. But the nothing that I know it well. That's why when I talk, no one can refuse me. Having said that, I'll say the following. Let us not mix up ourselves with the gifts, quote unquote, that we're getting from the Chinese government and the intention of the state of the Popular Republic of China. Let us not get mixed up with that. It's not that this here country doesn't need development aid and assistance. Of course, the runway of our airport needs a resurfacing. Yes, no one can do that now. I do not know because I do not know what the traffic is like down there and so on, but the plans for the putting in of the parallel taxiway and not runway, taxiway to avoid congestion, I don't know if the time has come. That would be for the professionals who are right on spot. I haven't learned what's the situation now as it relates to traffic. Yes, but there are certain things in this loan and the provisions are being made for certain things. These extended boom system, extensively complicated hydraulic, electromagnetic, and digital systems that shoot out to your aircraft and so on so that people can come on and most times go on only and not come off. That's not necessary here. Because when you do that in this here country, you're taking up half the apron. Where would you put them? These are vain and frivolous projects. The ring road may be essential, yes. But that comes back to one thing as I round up here, Citizen Welsh. We cannot, this airport has been in total disrepair for years. We cannot maintain what we have. Runways are things that have to refurbish. Yes, that's quite correct. But the electricity system, the aerodrome lighting system, the internal of the building, almost everything, the grounds are in poor state of disrepair. Huh? The navigation system, because we have not been maintaining. I'll tell you this. You made a statement a while ago that the money has been spent. The money was made be spent in other things. No. You have, if you work, you have, the first thing you have to do is buy soap to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you will stink. Otherwise, you will rotten. And it's an incorrect statement for him to say the money went other places. No. The airport is supposed to generate funds for its own first of all, is being unable to do that. Yes, development is necessary, but vain and frivolous development just to get certain other people rich and to turn possibly highly likely turning over our national patrimony to foreigners is extremely dangerous, and therefore I urge Grenadians to be absolutely careful on what is going on here. And young men and women, be careful with your future. And greetings to all the brothers and sisters who toileted on that airport from 1980 to 1984, before it's opened. Greetings to you, because I know that they celebrate everything and they leave us out completely.
Okay.
I will be talking more about it further. Have a nice day. Will you, Citizen Welsh?
Thank you so much, Citizen Rollo. Enjoy your day as well. Somebody on Facebook says, no disrespect, some of we Grenadians should learn from the way they work. When you give them a job to do they do it. Just look at the way some of our people do things. You give them a 5-day job, it takes 5 months. Somebody else on Facebook says, it's about patriotism. I agree that some are missing the point concerning the Chinese issues. For many of us, as long as we belly full, to hell with the rest of it. I couldn't think of a safer word to use. Somebody is agreeing with Citizen Rollo. Very true, caller. Where is the airport manager? Resigned or fired? According to Minister Modeste, she handed in her resignation, which takes effect at the end of this month, which is end of this week. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back inside with Open Line Thursday here on To The Point, Classic and GBN. We'll be right back.
From Monday, November 2nd to Thursday, December 31st, GBN's Christmas Caravan will be blazing the trail of goodness across Grenada. Join us as we journey daily to find the hottest deals this Christmas season. Win prizes from our partners. Get recipes for your favorite Christmas treats and bust a tune in the Christmas Karaoke Fun segment. It's GBN's Christmas Caravan. Weekdays from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Live on Classic Radio 105.5 and 105.9. GBN Television Channels 7 and 11. GBN's Facebook page and GBN's YouTube channel. Your mid-mornings will never be the same. The Christmas Caravan is brought to you in part by Hubbard's and Food Fair Supermarkets and Bryden and Miners and Ace Hardware.
You've spoken, we have heard. Now we're making more time available for your evening primetime shows on K105. From Monday, July 6th, Your Law will air from 6 to 7 p.m. On Tuesdays, Simply Agriculture. And on Wednesdays, join discussions on constitution reform in partnership with Island Media. At 5:55 p.m., we bring you news headlines, a capsule on local, regional, and international events, followed by news at 7 via simulcast with GBN Television. Join Godfrey Augustine for stimulating discussions on Release It from 8 p.m. on Wednesdays and Thursdays. GBN's K105.5 and 105.9. We're with you everywhere and anywhere. If you're on the move, catch us online at www.gbn.gd.
Welcome back to The Point. It's Open Line Thursday here on the program. Let me go right back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
Thank you for the open line today again.
No problem.
So happy for that. I want to read from Revelation chapter 3, verse 1 to 6, and it's about the church, what is referred as the dead church. And as I said before, these two chapters in Revelation deal with churches, the 7 churches of Asia, and each one seems to be representing the state of which the modern church finds itself. Now this one says, "And to the angel of the church of Sardis write, these things said he who has the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars. I know your works." Now I'm reading from the New King James Version this time. "That you have a name, that you are alive, but you are dead. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain, that are ready to die. For I have not found your works perfect before God. Remember, therefore, how you have received and heard. Hold fast and repent. Therefore, if you will not watch, I will come upon you as a thief, and you will not know what hour I will come upon you. You have a few names, even in Sardis, who have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. He who overcomes shall be clothed with white garments, and I will not blot out his name from the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He who has an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches." So this church had a name. Oh, it's alive, but God saying it is dead. We look at the churches today, and we because of who lead the churches, how friendly we are with the leaders, what the status in society. We think, that's the best, just a live church. But we have to look at what God is saying about the church and how we assess them and categorize them. We have to know, how is God seeing that church which says it's alive? God is looking at the church and says, you have a name that you're alive, but where I am concerned, you are dead.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jeremiah. Somebody on Facebook says, it's about national patrimony. Citizen Rollo got it right. Somebody else on Facebook, how is it the minister responsible did not do the same? Okay, I'll have to double check what that means. Good morning, caller.
Right there.
Morning.
So we have a very small nation as Grenada, a little 120 square miles, and this one open Fariko and whatnot, make it 143. So the kind of road he had in Grenada from slavery days gone by donkey cart. Since this government could repair all the roads in Grenada, put them under working condition. All them in a roads where donkey cart is going in the past years, go on the road right now, It didn't tax what government collects to run this country. What we're paying 5 cents and $5 tax all the year, donkey is 10 cents, and they can start pay back as more than that and stamp as more than that. In that one country, tax in every part of the world, you go tax one country, tax in one country, every part of the world. There's nothing that's no free, given the earth, nothing free. Man getting free, I said no, But there's nothing on the earth free. You have to pay, everything, you have to pay for it. You borrow money, this one they give you money, who give you money. Now, Africa had money in the past time. And England and the Bill Empire. When they give loan, when they give money, they get it from Africa, they get it from them. They didn't build Empire. No? My Jamaica built from Africa, slavery build the wall. Slavery build the wall, black people build the wall. What, we ain't pay for that yet, So when they get a little money, just give back a little money when they know that they give you. Simple. When they give something free. But when they give you a loan, you have to pay by loan. So if government have to repair all the roads you have in Grenada, all the roads the donkey cart is running in the past years gone by. You have no money, the government have money to repair road. You have to borrow money to repair road. Got $10 tax and $10 and $10 tax can run the country in this money in time. Because man labor costs more than that. Plus other things cost more than that. Everything every day things getting expensive and with salary and no investment. But if the country had investment, big people invest money in the country, government collect revenue every time more. So when government borrow money to invest, they have to pay back the money back. But if you invest the money that you have in your pocket, 5, 6 people come together and invest in the country, better for the government. Invest things in the country, Grenadians, from 46 years independence 1974. Tell me what big investment they have in Grenada. For 46 years of independence as a nation, who build it?
Okay.
No big investment, small investment building in Grenada, and they have money sitting in the bank, they do nothing with it. They play family models, they don't live on the money. And they buy cash and go down the ground, they're joking anyhow. Bless this.
Okay. Enjoy your day as well. Okay, let me follow the thread on Facebook. That thread started with this person that inquired, where is the airport manager, resigned or fired? Somebody responded, strongly suggested vacation perhaps. And then the person responded, how is it the minister responsible did not do the same? That's the thread. Okay. Somebody on Facebook says, I have a hypothetical question. If NDC was to win the next election and decided to bring back Taiwan in the picture to help Grenada, will the Chinese take us to court as the Taiwanese did, and the government of Grenada had to get an outside company to pay that judgment that was handed down against the government? Also, where we have to make a deal with our oil and gas we found to that company who bailed us out of that court judgment. Question, the Taiwanese and Chinese don't get along, so are we going to see that same chess game being played? Somebody else on Facebook says, hold on, I'll get back to that comment. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. I listen to people talk about the Chinese helping, and so I don't think, personally, I don't have an issue with the not the help, but with the granting of loan and certain special conditions. Now, the question I have in mind is this. We are talking of independence. Independence from what? Okay? Independence from Britain. We all have our opinion as to how we were treated and how Grenada was treated, etc., etc. Now, we are celebrating why we are doing, in my mind, everything within our power to get back to be colonialized, right? So I don't think the issue is development. I think what we need to ask ourselves is what prices we are willing to pay. So when we argue about, is it Chinese, it doesn't matter who, But what are we signing to on those lines? While we hypocritically celebrate independence from one, we are signing to be colonialized by another. I mean, it's ironic. We need to stop being, I understand he who pays the piper plays the tune. But Grenadians, we sometimes become so toxic it's not funny, right? Because we are supporting somebody who just signed on the dotted line for your colonialization in the next 10 years or so, and we go jumping in the market square, 45 years of independence, yay. What is that? What is that? Is that who we want to present ourselves to the world as being? So hypocrite, so don't knowing what we want? This is ironic. So my issue is, look, the Chinese present themselves as seemingly saviors to Grenada. Okay, what is the deal? Now, I have kids. What are we selling them to? Who are we planning to sell them to? Some of my parents or so can talk about the colonialization of Britain and whatever. Are we setting our kids up for them to talk about what it feels like to be colonialized by the Chinese? This is the question we need to ask ourselves instead of just thinking of what is on our plate. Who can give us the biggest chicken leg? What about foregoing the chicken leg today, eat a piece of chicken wings so that the tomorrow can be better for the people who we're bringing into the world? It's ironic. We need to think and stop being so gullible. God, look, I hear a caller talk about the donkey and cart road. we need to decide as a people, and this is where politics comes in, because I am asking myself, yes, you get 15 seats, but does that give you the right to decide, okay, I am taking out that road that is a donkey cart road, and I am putting a road so that limousine or whatever buses, three-way traffic, 4 lanes or whatever it is, can pass on. But I'm doing it so that your grandchildren will be sold to the Chinese.
Okay.
For 100 years. Now, that might be what we call the untold story.
Okay.
Who is prepared for that? All right.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Somebody on WhatsApp. WhatsApp says, that's from this morning when I encouraged a person to vote. They said, I've never voted for anyone else, so I just think if I'm not voting for NNP, it doesn't make sense. And as followers, if the government is doing wrong, we should say. Another WhatsApper says, as a former chairman, let me say that the airport income stream was not healthy enough to service this loan in its entirety. Let's do it in phases and to use a portion of this loan for our productive sector. Build a fish and agri factory. Somebody else on WhatsApp, I am confused as to why everything that is being done in Grenada, there is a complaint. Also, Cuba will do, with all due respect, was and still is a communist state today, so what's the argument? Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and to all your listeners.
Morning.
Let me say that this discussion certainly has generated a lot of great thoughts, and great ideas have, been presented so far. And it's amazing that the people understand the economics to a great extent. The world has changed. Government needs to recognize that the world has changed. But our economy remains the same and continues to be depressed. With all that has been said with respect to the airport project, I want to say we need to know what is the value for money, an assessment on the value of the work based on the loan that we are undertaking. Value for money. Present to us, the people, the value for money analysis so that we can be comforted with the fact that what we are undertaking, we are receiving value for what we are going to be borrowing. The return on investment is another issue. While the airport undertakes the loan, the fact is any statutory body is underwritten by the government of Grenada. So in essence, it is a government loan undertaken by a subsidiary, which is the Airport Authority. Is the revenue stream and the airport able to service the loan? I think these are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. And with the downturn, the world economic downturn and world tourism downturn, surely the airport will not be able to generate sufficient revenue to service such a loan. Nonetheless, this loan was negotiated 4 or 5 years ago. The fact is, and as many of your callers have alluded to, we need to reassess the situation. Yes, the runway needs resurfacing, and that is a priority. Yes, probably upgrades to the tower facilities. Yes, to probably ring road, etc. But do we need an air bridge? Do the people of Grenada understand what an air bridge is? Air bridges are used in countries where you have snow, sleet, heavy rainfall on a regular basis. In other words, you come from the terminal and you go through like a tunnel, fully enclosed. So if it's snowing or what have you, you can get into the aircraft without getting wet or having the elements upon you. Do we really need this at this particular point in time? I'm not saying that the airport don't need certain of the items that have been indicated, but we need to reprioritize on the basis of where we stand today and what is happening in the world. Another area of concern to me is the CBI Act, the Citizenship by Investment. Government needs to make an amendment to that piece of legislation which says clearly that any CBI investor shall not have the privilege to hold public office. Get me clearly. And the NDC has made this call before, and I'm just re-echoing this call, that an amendment to the CBI Act is fundamental. And I'm saying so on the basis of generations to come, because we are entering into this CBI program where hundreds of thousands of passports are being sold, and I'm not opposed to that whatsoever. It's an investment, and it helps to create activities, etc. But we must protect ourselves so that we can protect generations to come. Because if we do not amend that piece of legislation, a non-national, once he has our passport and citizenship, he's entitled to all the privileges as an average Grenadian.
Okay.
Let us correct this for generations to come. And that is my call. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Somebody on Facebook says, if we continue to take the Chinese loan, etc., we should never consider becoming a republic. The Queen and her subjects may just have to save us later. Somebody on WhatsApp, it is sad that we are constantly pushing toward our country being solely dependent on tourism. Is this time not enough proof to show that tourism is not superior to agriculture? Let us go back to being major exporters. Even if we want to borrow 10% of the money you are looking to borrow for the airport, let us put it towards our agriculture. We can be improving our tactics, for example, growing major amounts of cocoa and negotiating with countries with major corporations that use chocolate as their main product, like Nestle and other major chocolate companies and so on. What happens when we build this big airport and something similar to COVID strikes again, and by this time we have international flights directly coming from Italy and France and certain countries like this? Lord help us, the reason why we are still standing today is because we do not have all these major countries passing through. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good.
I want to highlight something for the Grenadian people and to remind them. You remember the WRB saga? This matter went to arbitration. The government lose. What do you come and tell us? They don't have money to pay. They don't have money to pay. Just imagine the Chinese going to come in with such a loan. If you don't have money, telling the nation, you don't have money to pay as a result of the WRB saga. How are you going to find money? We're going to find money to pay this loan. You know what happened? Why they're not telling us what is in this agreement? Because they know definitely fixing the airport, it's gone. This is a thing that's gone. The Chinese going to control it because we don't have money to pay. They tell us that already. If Grenadians listen and remember all those projects before, every time an election close by, they come with some tomfoolery projects. If this one gets through on the airport, it will be a miracle and we would not be able to pay. Anything the Chinese are going to put on here now, anything they're going to put on now here in this country, they have an intention. They know that it's going to be seized because the Grenadian government come in front and tell you they cannot pay that arbitration result. So how are they going to find money to pay all the others? It is a trick. Grenadians must remember, every election we was promised a ring road around the hospital, the chicken project, the shrimp project. If you're going to check all those things that was enlisted and was told to the Grenadian people before election, none of them come true. Tomfoolery and bribery. Grenadians have to be careful. This administration is supposed to remove from office generation, and generation to come will be dumb. The way this administration is going. All these few people who is there thinking about, they want to stay in office until they die. They don't care about the future of the generation of this country. They will sell out, give out everything in this country to foreign people and to hell with the native. If the Grenadian voters have sense, they will reject that administration from office. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Somebody on WhatsApp says the Chinese give the loan and most of the money go back to their country. Somebody else on WhatsApp, good morning. I would like the seed officers to look into the money that some children are receiving to go to school and not going. Check Holy Innocents registrars. Somebody else on WhatsApp, I want to know how is Grenada going to pay the loan? I was looking at a program this morning. Chinese built a port in Myanmar, and they cannot afford to pay the Chinese the money back. They just acquired the port. In 2010, I was about to build my house. I asked the Chinese for a quote, which they gave me and informed me that they will not hire locals because they are too lazy. Good morning, caller.
Morning, greetings, Blossom.
Greetings.
Yeah, man, and to the nations. Now, Blossom, you see, one thing we forget in ourselves. If you look at the Chinese is the Chinese, European is the European. You know what I mean? Who is African? We are Africa, we are Africans. We are Africa, we are Africans. When we start to see ourselves as one nation, one family, in a world that oppressing us, a system, not a world, because the world was prepared by us, our ancestors, and make it what it is, and the oppressors come and think they could take it and control it. They have us for how much? 400 years, 500 years. Colonialism, from colonialism, communism, imperialism. You know what I mean? We come back into communism again. Now, when we go see ourselves as a people, look, the whole of Africa now fighting to get these people away from the backs and from the land. When they exit from those places, they see here like a safe haven for them. You know what I mean? As a luxurious place for them. It's time that we as a people don't make ourselves so poor when we are so rich with every blessing that the Most High and the Mother of creation have given unto us. Why we live in today, they pass it on to us. Why we should let others come and keep baffling our head. When we look at the footprints that print on Africa, the road map, everything drawn up there, and it's that we are the part, we are one part. Let's start joining ourselves with people that doesn't concern about us and have no intention to help black people on the face of the earth, excepting we bring ourselves together like Africans, Africa, Grenada. Give thanks, my sister.
Thank you very much, caller. Give thanks. A WhatsApper. No. Let me make the wrong side on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, nothing people do can please these Grenadians. Lord help us. Somebody else on Facebook. I would like the administration to tell us how many loans outstanding and how many we are defaulting on, and why now this one. These are the questions we need to ask the administration. Looking at the two hotel projects, we have to sell CPI passports in the thousands to do that project. Now the administration will have to increase the taxes on Grenadians back again, and one of the questions should be at what interest rate we will be paying on that loan. Somebody else on Facebook says, no, let me go to WhatsApp. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, work with me, WhatsApp. There we go. Why does the government want to go into this risky mega project in these uncertain times? Why can't we do the project in phases, prioritizing these components that are most needed for the safety, etc., putting on a lower priority those aspects that can wait, especially in light of the uncertainty of travel for the next 3 to 4 years? Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sister. How are you?
I'm good. How you do?
Good, thank you.
All right.
I want to ask you a question. What is the national debt?
I have no idea.
All right. So most of us have no idea what the national debt is. Okay, we were looking forward to the oil bringing in some money to help our country develop. We have no answer for that. No national debt answer, no oil answer. These people, all my life growing up, I know when any international agency or any country doing a project in Grenada, Grenadians get employed, and there is a turnover in the country. These people have been here for years, and every job they do, everything comes from the country, everything goes back to them. What is the benefit of having these people come in and do projects in Grenada? Because we are so stupid? Because we are stupid people? Grenadians, it's time to get up. Get up and get. Stop this communist. All these people and them, the prime minister and them doing is sinking us in debt, which our children and our grandchildren will suffer for in the future. Stand up for yourselves. Stand up for your children. Get up. Take the streets. Get them out. There is no other way we could do it other than taking the street, because the election, they always do what they want to the election. Time for us to take the street and defend our country, or else we go into hell. Not even in a handbasket, I don't know what, maybe in a tire that roll down a hill. So all you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, caller. Somebody on WhatsApp says, China is not the enemy. Like slavery, it's your own people that sell you out. I think people should rise up and demand the terms and conditions of these agreements. Yet another instance where the Freedom of Information Act is needed. Clearly, the populace has no confidence in its negotiators. When asked yesterday, Minister Modest said she believes the terms of the agreement could and should be made public, and she did promise to get back to us in relation to the repayment, how much we have to repay, and so on and so forth, and over the period, and how much a month or a year or so on and so forth. She did promise to get back to us on that, so we will hold her to it. Somebody on YouTube says, do not blame the people, blame our lovely Prime Minister. Another YouTuber says, when they remove this government, who will replace them when the other side cannot unite? When they were in power fighting among themselves, it's the same thing that caused the downfall of the revolution. The NDC, or I should say the other party, as you put it, the other side, have said that the folks involved in the infighting are no longer with the party. So, maybe they're past that point, hopefully. Somebody on Facebook. And that's why I admire Dr. Mitchell. He is a visionary leader. He looks ahead. All you stay there and get left behind. Somebody else on Facebook. Good point, caller. If they are unable to pay WRB, where will the money come from to pay China for this loan for the airport? Possibly the final caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
Blossom, I feel very sad. I feel to cry. I feel sorry for Grenada. I feel so sad. You know, Grenada is a lovely place. Grenada is so beautiful. And I just feel to cry, man. Come on. Blossom, bye-bye.
Thank you very much, caller. Oh, I'm sad to know that you're sad. Somebody on WhatsApp says, after they rebuild the airport and the visitors that are coming in, what road will they drive them on? Is like those in authority not seeing the road. Another WhatsApper. Everything in Grenada is either a secret or a delay. We have to beg them for information and beg them to prepare or repair our infrastructure. WhatsApp. Grenada government in every nation only invests their taxpayers' dollars not in the interest of other nations but themselves. It's their main obligation. Chinese government is not seeking Grenada's interest but the interest of their nationals. The onus is on our leadership to seek our interest. Let's hope they are ordained by God to see. All right, let's wind down this morning's program, making the last round. Somebody on Facebook. Reject this administration and replace it with what? Just asking. Somebody else on Facebook says the airport initiative is a wonderful one on many fronts. I pray that the project is well thought out. However, as much as we love Chinese people, we do not trust the Chinese government and ideologies. And the final comment that I would read for this morning, somebody on WhatsApp says, we as Grenadians are too laid back. We sit down and let this administration dictate to us. They protest for a dog which was hit by a vehicle, but they won't show NNP regime our voice matters. So when they finish giveaway and sell out our country, then they will say NNP destroy Grenada. Be who we are. Take action so they can see we will not accept blind agreements while they're filling their pockets. I wonder if it's too late, writer. Deal sign already, you know. Deal sign already. All right, it is time to end this morning's program. Thank you so much for participating. Those of you with your comments, questions, queries, concerns across the various platforms, thank you so much for participating. It's time to make way for Joseph to get in here for this morning's mid-morning buzz. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, God willing. It's Friday. Have yourselves a blessed, productive, thankful Thursday. Continue to be COVID-19 smart and do what you need to protect yourself and your loved ones. Have yourselves a good Thursday.